Vladimir Putin has just touched down in Delhi, and the air is charged with anticipation. This isn't just another state visit. This is the 23rd India-Russia Annual Summit. First time Putin is setting foot in India since the 2022 Ukraine war reshaped global alliances. Prime Minister Modi's invitation signals a reaffirmation of a special and privileged strategic partnership that has endured crises, sanctions, and geopolitical upheavals. From defense and energy to trade, science, and culture, the agenda is massive, with high-stakes negotiations set to stabilize deals on S-400 systems, BrahMos missiles, and Russian oil imports. Historical ties dating back to Nehru-Khrushchev camaraderie and cemented during the 1971 Bangladesh War have evolved into a resilient alliance that withstands external pressures. But in a world watching every move, what exactly can India and Russia achieve in this critical summit? Hello and welcome. You're watching Statecraft with me, Geeta Mohan. Bilateral trade has surged past $68 billion in 2024-25, driven by discounted Russian oil. While India maintains a delicate balance between Western sanctions and its own strategic autonomy, defense inventories remain over 60% Russian supplied, from Su-30 MKIs to T-90 tanks and the S-400 systems, ensuring that even amid US CATSA threats, military modernization continues. Modi's careful diplomacy, abstaining on certain UN-Russia votes, advocating dialogue in Ukraine, yet deepening ties in energy and defense, reflects decades of trust building that started with Cold War-era treaties. Pre-visit groundwork, including Jaishankar Lavrov's Moscow meetings and Doval Patrushev's security talks, set the stage. But given these high-stakes dynamics, what major breakthroughs can this summit realistically deliver? India and Russia's relationship is not a fleeting convenience. It is a deeply entrenched one. Trade routes trace back to the 4th and 3rd century BC with Pazyerk artifacts, while Afanasy Nikitin's 15th century travels highlight early engagement. By the 18th century, Indian merchants thrived in Russian ports like Astrakhan, benefiting from Mughal-Russian transit trade until British disruptions altered the equation. Post-independence, Nehru's 1955 visit to Moscow and Khrushchev's reciprocal trip laid the foundation for modern strategic cooperation. Moscow backed India's Kashmir and Goa claims amid a non-aligned global tilt, establishing a pattern of mutual trust. Over decades, the alliance has survived ideological shifts, wars, global sanctions, proving its durability. This is why, even today, both nations prioritize annual summits and maintain extensive engagement in defense, energy, and space. The Cold War cemented India-Russia strategic depth. Soviet arms flowed during the 1962 Sino-Indian War, redefining South Asian power balances. The 1971 Indo-Soviet Treaty of Peace, Friendship and Cooperation neutralized the US-China-Pakistan axis and enabled India's decisive intervention in Bangladesh. Licensed MiG-21 and T-72 production underpinned India's defense independence, while Kosygин's Tashkent mediation in 1965 showcased Moscow's diplomatic influence. Between 1965 and 1977, this golden age of Indo-Soviet cooperation expanded to economic aid and technology transfers. Cold War-era support forged a template. India relied on Russian defense and industrial aid, while Russia cemented strategic influence in Asia. Even decades later, this history underpins modern trust, making the relationship remarkably resilient despite global turbulence. After the Soviet Union dissolved in 1991, Russia seamlessly inherited this partnership. The 1993 Treaty of Friendship and Cooperation under Yeltsin and Narasimha Rao ensured continuity in defense supplies, even as Western sanctions threatened operations post-Pokhran nuclear tests. By 2000, Putin's visit with Vajpayee declared a formal strategic partnership, embedding joint R&D, defense cooperation, and long-term commercial ventures. Sukhoi 30 MKI production, BrahMos missile joint ventures, and INS Vikramaditya acquisition exemplify a buyer-seller evolution into co-development and technology transfer. Joint exercises like Indira and Vostok extending to 2031 reinforce operational interoperability. The post-Soviet transition wasn't merely transactional, it was a redefinition of the alliance for a multipolar 21st century. Defense cooperation remains the backbone of this partnership, from MiG-21 jets in the 1960s to S-400 Triumph missile systems and BrahMos missile expansions today. India has historically relied on Russia for over 60% of its military hardware. Joint production, licensed builds, and co-development of systems like Su-30 MKIs, T-90s, and Ka-226 helicopters reflect an evolution from dependency to partnership. The RELOS Logistics Pact in 2025 enhances joint maritime and disaster relief capabilities. Even amid sanctions due to the Ukraine war, Russia delivered AK-203 rifles, T-72 upgrades, and replenished missile stocks on schedule. The upcoming summit is expected to accelerate these deals, potentially advancing Sukhoi 57 stealth tech transfers and additional S-400 squadrons, ensuring India's operational readiness. Energy and economic ties parallel defense resilience. Russia has become India's top oil supplier, with imports meeting over 23% of demand, despite US tariffs under President Trump ranging from 25% to 500%. Key projects like Kudankulam nuclear plant expansions, Sakhalin-1 stakes, and the Chennai-Vladivostok corridor underscore a strategic vision beyond immediate supply.
The thing is, this pressure you've just mentioned is mostly about using political instruments for simple economic competition purposes. In other words, our energy cooperation with India is not subject to short-term political fluctuations, nor is it connected to the tragic events in Ukraine. As far as hydrocarbons are concerned, our economic operators, the companies, long before the developments in Ukraine, had entered into very good, efficient relations based on trust. Trade relations, economic relations. One of our big companies, as is well known, has acquired an oil refinery in India. It was one of the biggest foreign investment into the Indian economy, to the tune of more than $20 billion US. Our company is developing this refinery, working with its partners quite successfully too, year in, year out. And India became one of the big suppliers of oil products to the European markets, not just because it was buying our oil at a discount. The thing is, those ties go back years and decades before, and right now some don't like it that India occupies one of the leading positions in the markets thanks to its cooperation with Russia, and they're trying to devise a way in order to restrain India. They're trying to do that artificially, politically, shutting down opportunities for development.
FTA discussions with the Eurasian Economic Union target $50 billion investment by 2025, and the rupee-ruble settlement mechanism safeguards trade against dollar system vulnerabilities. Even under Western scrutiny, energy and trade remain a stabilizing pillar of the partnership, enabling India to pursue energy sovereignty while Russia maintains a significant economic outlet. Cultural and political engagement has kept the relationship vibrant. Annual summits, exchanges like Namaste Moscow, and mutual respect and public sentiment. 85% of Russians favor India. 60% of Indians endorse a neutral Ukraine stance. These things underscore the depth of people-to-people bonds. Modi-Putin interactions since 2014 have yielded high-level agreements in hydrocarbons, railways and defense, while maintaining a balance with India's global partnerships. Even amid Ukraine-related pressures, India demonstrates strategic autonomy, neither fully endorsing nor condemning Moscow, yet ensuring the partnership continues to thrive. This nuanced diplomacy ensures the alliance is not hostage to global swings. The Cold War era framework still inform modern operations. Licensed MiG, Sukhoi and T-72 production allowed India to build defense manufacturing capability, while Soviet-era treaties fostered diplomatic alignment. Today, S-400 deliveries, BrahMos joint ventures and upgrades for AESA radars, engines and AI-integrated weapons exemplify continuity. The shift from buyer-seller to co-development and technology transfer highlights an adaptive partnership resilient to sanctions and diversification pressures. The December 2025 summit is poised to reinforce these pillars, with multiple agreements likely across defense, energy and technology sectors. Historically, leadership diplomacy has shaped outcomes. Nehru Khrushchev's industrial aid and Kashmir support laid early foundations. Gandhi-Kozygiin exchanges secured victory in Bangladesh and T-72 transfers. Yeltsin-Rao ensured post-Soviet continuity, while Putin-Vajpayee defined the strategic partnership. Putin-Singh and Modi-Putin summits advanced defense modernization, nuclear cooperation, and high-level trade pacts. These leadership bonds have created institutionalized trust, allowing India to weather global sanctions, diversify suppliers cautiously, and maintain operational readiness. The upcoming summit will test this legacy against modern geopolitical pressures. The 2022 Ukraine war introduced new challenges. India avoided full condemnation of Russia while advocating dialogue, signaling a careful balancing act. Modi publicly decried civilian casualties from Russian airstrikes, yet continued engagement in defense and energy, and that showed pragmatism. Sanctions complicated some deliveries, accelerating India's push for indigenous production under self-reliant India. Despite delays, Russian hardware remains central, reflecting decades of accumulated trust. The December summit will need to reconcile these operational realities with diplomatic strategy, ensuring continuity without escalation. Bilateral trade, bolstered by energy imports and nuclear cooperation, remains a stabilizing force. The 2024 Modi-Putin-Moscow summit achieved 9 MOUs and set a $100 billion trade goal by 2030. Projects include Kudankulam Units 3-6 refinery expansion and smart city initiatives aligned with Make in India. Currency settlements, innovations, and alternative payment corridors mitigate Western tariff pressures while reinforcing strategic autonomy. Even as Russia pivots closer to China, India ensures that its engagement with Moscow is multi-aligned, reducing vulnerabilities in an increasingly polarized world. Defense agendas are front and center. The summit will likely confirm additional S-400 squadrons, BrahMos expansions, AK-203 rifles, and upgrades to Su-30 MKIs and other platforms. Joint ventures and co-production will solidify India's self-reliance while sustaining interoperability with Russian systems. RELOS logistics pacts and maritime cooperation further institutionalize joint operational readiness. These agreements, despite CAATSA and other sanctions from the United States of America, underscore a mutual commitment that has withstood decades of global and regional turbulence. Energy and strategic infrastructure discussions will target reliable crude flows, ruble-rupee trade mechanisms, and nuclear collaboration. Long-term contracts with Russia ensure energy security amid geopolitical flux. Infrastructure projects, including corridors linking Chennai to Vladivostok, reduce transit times and strengthen commercial connectivity. Nuclear power expansions and rare earth collaborations diversify India's energy portfolio while deepening industrial ties. The December summit is expected to cement these arrangements, setting the stage for a resilient $100 billion trade framework by 2030. Global issues remain high on the agenda. Ukraine negotiations, BRICS and SCO coordination, Arctic and AI research, and international security cooperation will feature prominently. India and Russia's positions on these fronts reflect complementary interests. India maintains non-alignment and strategic autonomy, while Russia seeks legitimacy and economic outlets amid sanctions. Joint statements and agreements emerging from the summit will likely highlight these shared commitments, signaling continuity in a turbulent global order. Public perception underpins the partnership. High approval ratings and positive sentiment in both countries reinforce political capital for leaders, allowing flexible negotiation without domestic backlash. Cultural exchanges, scientific cooperation, and educational initiatives complement defense and economic ties, ensuring the relationship transcends transactional interests. Putin's visit reinforces this multidimensional engagement, projecting stability even amid external pressures and global scrutiny. The summit will also address regional security frameworks. Discussions on maritime security, disaster relief, and rail logistics ensure operational readiness beyond bilateral borders. Cooperation extends to joint exercises and technology transfers, ensuring strategic depth and a coordinated response to emerging challenges. Even as India balances its US ties and Russia's pivot toward China, these mechanisms safeguard operational continuity and preserve India's strategic autonomy. In sum, Putin's 2025 Delhi visit epitomizes the resilience of India-Russia ties. From Cold War-era MiGs and T-72s to modern S-400s, BrahMos missiles, and energy corridors, the partnership has evolved yet remains steadfast. Leadership diplomacy, strategic autonomy, energy cooperation, and defense modernization all converge in this summit. Despite sanctions, geopolitical shifts, and China's rise, India and Russia sustain a time-tested alliance built on mutual trust, pragmatic engagement, and shared vision. The December 23rd summit is not merely ceremonial. It is a decisive step in shaping the future trajectory of a global strategic partnership that has endured wars, sanctions, and shifting alliances. With defense, energy, trade, and technology pacts expected to dominate discussions, this summit may well define India-Russia relations for the next decade. S-400 replenishments, BrahMos expansions, T-72 upgrades, and nuclear cooperation will anchor operational readiness. Energy deals, rupee-ruble settlements, and FTA prospects will stabilize economic interdependence. Leadership diplomacy, rooted in decades of personal rapport from Nehru to Modi, provides continuity. Even amid Western sanctions, China's regional rise and global scrutiny, the partnership's robustness will be tested and likely reaffirmed. The question is not whether India and Russia remain friends, but how strategically they will emerge stronger post the summit. Putin's landing in Delhi is a culmination of decades of diplomacy, strategic foresight, and defense industrial collaboration. India leverages this visit to safeguard energy security, accelerate defense modernization, and maintain multipolar influence, while Russia consolidates a crucial ally amid sanctions and global isolation. The summit reinforces bilateral trade, joint technological ventures, and operational interoperability, demonstrating that the India-Russia bond is more than transactional. It is a resilient strategic anchor in a turbulent world. The visit will test, reaffirm, and possibly expand this relationship in ways that echo the golden eras of Nehru, Indira Gandhi, and Putin's early 2000s engagements, shaping geopolitics for years to come. Thank you for watching Statecraft.